Hello everyone, welcome back here. Like in my previous video, I have discussed about how you can import one Lightning Web component inside the another Lightning Web components, what all things we needed, and also I discussed some interview questions. So in the continuation of that video, I am adding the current discussion. Okay, so the discussion is including today's discussion is including how we can uh, pass data from parent component to child components. Okay, so here in LWC there are two way we can pass the data from parent to child components, means also we call it from up to down, how we can flow data from upwards to downwards. Okay, so that there are two ways. One is the property and second one is the function. To the function, child function, and to the property. So let's start with the implementation. So I will go to the VS Code, and I will be creating one my web component. So to create the web components, I will be pressing Ctrl Shift P. It will be opening my command palette, and I will be choosing this Lightning Web Component, first option. Once I will be means after doing this, you will get to name your Lightning Web Components, and afterwards the where you wanted to store, just press the enter. After entering the name, like I wanted to create pass data from parent to parent com. Okay, so this is my component name. Once I will enter it, then I will get the options where you wanted to store this. So just press enter there, and once you press enter, your components get uh, generated, and you'll able to see it on this right hand side. So now moving to the means the point where what we wanted to discuss here. So these file has been generated pass data from parent com.html and JS and meta files. Like to replicate the scenario, like pass, I will be needing two components at least, where means where I will be passing data from parent to child. So parent I have created, I need to create child. So for that also I will be following the same path. I will be doing Ctrl Shift P, and I will be writing my project, I mean component name, and afterwards I will I have to save it at the same location, LWC folder. Okay, so now here I will be creating one my lightning child component that I will be named like receive data child com. If you see here, I have created it. Okay, so in this also these three files will be generated. Okay, now I will be moving to the um like if you wanted to know about these all text, these all files, so you can refer my previous videos I have uploaded in regards to LWC beginners, things that needed. If the people are new in LWC, what all these tag means, I have discussed in my previous video, so you can refer those. So now I have now two components. My first requirement has been completed, two components has been created. Now the second requirement, like I firstly I'm going to show you how I can flow data from my parent to child through the property. So for that, like property, like I named the property. So second requirement is to create a property in my JS file. So firstly I will create my property in my JS file, that is receive data child com. Okay, so I will be creating this child receiver. Okay, and I will be annotating it with the @API. So why I'm annotating it, I mean decorating it with API, because I wanted this child receiver, uh, I wanted this child receiver should visible in my parent component. Okay, so by default in the JavaScript, LWC JavaScript, the components, sorry, the property used to be private. So make it public. To make it public, I added this decorator. And also we should follow the camel casing naming convention in the JavaScript. Okay, now I'm moving to the now I have, like in a child I have created, now I will be going to in a parent, and I will create one property in my parent. So my parent is pass data from parent com. So I will go to the JS and I will be creating this pass data parent to child. So in like you see, I did not mention here the means the where or let. So it's not mandatory to use that. You can directly put this, or you can use the let. Okay, so now I have created here one field, and I have defined some default value to it, like pass from parent, and I'm going to pass this property to my child component. So how I'm now the third step I'm talking. So the third step is pass parent data to the child through the property. So I'm going to my HTML parent HTML file, and if you see, I have added one paragraph tag, HTML tag. You are in parent, just to make sure, just to show you a message that you are in a parent components. And another tag I am going to import here is my child component. So how we import child component, I have made up the video, so you can take an example, or also this is so simple, so you can take, you can understand it here only. I will make you understand that. So just to show you demo, I have already prepared this, so that's why I'm just commenting my previous codes means, so ignore that. So the focus is like uncommented code. So paragraph tag is uncommented, and this tag. So this is the syntax to import your component, right? So firstly I have imported, if you wanted to import your component, so this is the way, like my component name is receive data child com. It was get the name was made up from the core word, and like I said, like in a JavaScript we follow the camel casing, but in a HTML file we follow the kebab case to access our lightning components or lightning components properties in the this tag. Okay, so now this is the kebab case is like if it has been created from the forward, then each word will be separated by hyphen, and these all will be in a small case. Okay, now I have imported my component, and the second step will be I have to import, I have to when it's like I want to initialize the property, or I wanted to pass data of parent to the child. So I have to get, I have to, this is the field which we have in our child. If you go to the child component, you see here I have in the JavaScript, if you go, so I have created child receiver in a JavaScript. It used to be, it the property follow the camel casing, but if I wanted to use it in other components, wanted to call it from some another component, so in that case it will be following the kebab case. Okay, so that kebab case is like child hyphen receiver. Okay, child like the my attribute has been, our property is made up from the two word child receiver, and when, like I said, we will be, if in components we will be keeping the name in a small case. We will be referring this child receiver uh, field means we will be writing it as a in a small case, whereas here if you see, the C is small but other is the R is in a caps. So ignore this in the your HTML. You have to write in a small case and follow the kebab case. So here you see, because the kebab case is, understand by the, that is the HTML standard actually. So that's why uh, Salesforce enforce us to follow that. So child hyphen receiver. Okay, that is our attribute, that is in the child components. Afterwards, this is the way we have to we used to follow to pass the value from child to, sorry, from parent to child. Also we call it passing data from upwards to downwards. Okay, so this way we pass the value pass data parent to child. This is the attribute of my parent component. See here, and I have initialized it with the passed from parent. Okay, and all necessary thing to make like my components accessible on app builder and all that configuration information is stored by this meta file. So I have already set up this. So going ahead with the further steps. So now my requirement has been fulfilled. Like I have created two components, I have created two property. One is in my child and another is in my parent, and afterwards I have imported my child component inside the parent components, and also initialize my child property with the parent property. So whatever parent property will be having value, that can going to be passed by child components. Okay, so how we one more thing, like how the expressions used to be in sorry, in our HTML file. This is a way we used to access our JavaScript field or property in our components, HTML components. So then only that is going to be evaluated, and do not put it inside the codes. Okay, so that's what the thing is. Now I'm moving ahead to add it in my lightning like if you go to my configuration file, I have enabled it for the record page. So I just, for the example, I am going to add it on my contact page. Let me firstly deploy my org. It is in now receiver. It has been deployed. Now let me refresh it. So going to add it on my contact page. This is just to show you example. So I'm following this, but as per your requirements, you can add it. One more thing, I forgot to show you what all I have mentioned in my child components. So in the child component, I have just printed one message. You are in a child component, and child component, just to you do not get confused that from where this para is coming. So I have defined two paragraph tag, HTML tag here, and given some value. Child receiver, this is the value which I am passing from my parent components. And the parent component, if you see, I have mentioned only one para. You are in a check. You are in a parent comp. So let's go ahead with adding it to the record page. So I'm here. I'm going to edit my page. I'm going to drop my component. Go to again this my VS Code and look for the your configuration file to see that what master label I have given, because this is the name through which I will able to find my component. In app builder, let me put it, save it. So like I have dropped it my component, and if you see this section, you are in a parent component, that is, and you are in a child component, that is the part of child components. And child comp, this is the also para of child components, where I have pass value, this pass from parent. This is my attribute value and the property value of parent that get passed to my child components. Even I can show you where I can add here one text field, and whatever value will be in the text field, that is going to be passed uh, in my child components. Okay, So we'll add that too to show you that if you wanted to see that how the value is dynamically changing if we are making change in our parent components. So same value is going to pass in my child components. So there also you can relate this like data binding from parent to child. So if any changes we are making, so like I said, I supposed to add one field in my parent text field, and the text field value I'm going to associate with my property that I have declared in my JavaScript, parent JavaScript, and also the same field I'm passing in the my component. Sorry, yeah. So in the like child component, I'm going to show you that what I have done. I have added one more field that is called the text type input field, and I have given label parent field. And this, if you see the file, pass data from parent component. This is my parent component. And on blur, I am calling one handler, one function that is called the change, handle change. Okay, in handle change, what I have done in handle change, i'm just I'm just assigning value to this pass data parent to child. I'm just assigning this uh, uh, I'm assigning the updated value to this field again, because like if you see in my data binding in LWC session, there I have shown I have shared detail like if we are making changes in our UI to property that we have mentioned in our JavaScript, so that UI changes we have to manually update with through the event. Otherwise the updated value will not be there, that there would be a stale data. So we have to update that field with pass, means with the event. Means we have to capture the event and have to assign the updated value from event to that field. So this is what I am doing, and I will show you that even at the time of initialization I have passed the value this, but once event trigger, like if I trigger that event like on blur of the text field, then you will able to notice that afterwards if something changes happening in this field ever, so that is like I am passing this field as a means as to the property of the child. So the property of the child also going to update with the latest value of this field. Okay, so it seems like here in case of LWC also, if we are passing our reference field, and so in that case they are following call by reference uh, features, that in because both are pointing to the same location, that's why both will be having the same value. So now I'm going to show you the same. So let's start with this. Like I have refreshed my lighting page, and this text field has been came. Now at very first time it will be having value this, because at the initialization when this component has load, the constructor has initialized it with this value which I have given default. And on the event blur event, I'm calling on the text field blur event, I'm calling handle change. So you will notice that the change, I will show you that change too. So see here the first value is pass from parent. This is my parent text field. Okay, parent see here text field, and this is the value. Okay, through the expression we used to get value of the JavaScript property. So this is what, and here if you see in the child component, I already shown you that I am passing this pass from parent. So whatever changes, if something changes I'm making in the in the in the input text field, that is text field of the parent, so that is going to also update my child uh, related attribute or property. So let's see uh, updated updated value. Okay, if you once I will blur, like on blur event I have capture, so this is going to be changed, updated. So it see, so from here also we can one thing we can conclude here, like here if we are passing the directly the field value, so in that scenario, if we want, if we made changes in the property of the JavaScript later, after the after the component has been, the child component has been, populated their value, or has been, their field has been populated. Still, if we change anything in the parent attribute that we have passed in the child components, so that going that the parent component value get, copied to that child component as well. Means like both will be pointing to the same location. That's what I wanted to say here. So now we have learned like how we can pass data through from parent to child through the property. Okay, now I'm moving ahead with the through the function how we can pass the data from parent to child. So we'll show you that. Now moving to my example. So for that I have see here. So in that scenario, I will be not passing attribute, means property, in my component where I have included. I have removed it. So this this tag will be there. Okay, so this is in here I'm importing my child components. Okay, and if I go to the my parent JavaScript, here I have like handle this event. So in that scenario I'm going to call my child component function. So if you go to the child components, I will show you in the JavaScript I have created one function. Also make sure to annotate your function, child function, with API decorator, so that it get available in my uh, means outside of this component or in my parent components. Here I have created one function receiver. It is having one argument, and that argument again I'm using that argument to initialize my child receiver. Okay, so this way I'm also initializing my child component. Okay, so now I'm going to again parent. So I'm calling like I'm referring my current, my parent template, this dot template, this represent the current target or current components. So dot template means like my HTML, and the query locator is function that use whatever value we will be giving here, they are going to find that in my template. So they will be will able to find this because I have defined this component in my HTML, parent HTML. And once we get, then we are reaching to reach to that specific function. Firstly, like in general terms also, if we think, so we have to firstly reach to that class, then after we will able to reach to the function. So this is the way. So receiver, and like I said, this is holding one parameter. So in this parameter I am passing the parent attribute. So this way we used to call our child functions from our parent function to pass data from parent to child. So this is how it we wrote this, and I'll show you the example. So let's start with the example. Like let me again push it. This event has been handled on the on blur. Now go ahead and just add it to the page. Now let's see, go to back. Okay, now if you notice, like this is my parent component paragraph value. This is the field of my parent. This is the label, and this is the field. and this is 2 is the paragraph value of my child component. If you see here, you will not able to see this value pass from parent. Okay, once I will be, like I have mentioned, like on blur event, if whatever value I will be passing here, so that is going to be put here. And also if you see from in my parent tag, I am not passing through the attribute, I am through the property, I am not passing it. If you see here, this is not holding any property. In case of property, if you see, I have given this child receiver property if I am passing data through the property, but here I am passing through the method. So I have removed this from my component importing tag. Okay, so now move ahead. So let me so lies through function. Okay, so now on blur the my method my function handler will call. So okay, now I will be putting uh lies raw function. Like on blur I am handling the function, so you'll able to notice that here the value, whatever value I have added, this is going to be printed, because in my child paragraph I have used my property to the expression. So I am evaluating that. So see here it has been printing. So here I have shown you that how you can pass data from parent to child through the function. Okay, so again I will be showing you that this is my parent. Then I have imported my component only, no attribute mentioned here. Now and I will go to my JS of parent. So here I have handle one event, handle change event, because in my here means in my parent component, if you see HTML, I have created one text field, and on blur of that I am calling this handle change method. So the handle changes that method, and in this method what is I'm doing, I'm updating the value of this field, the property of my class, and with the latest value, and later I'm calling my uh, child function through this syntax, or I can say this represent, I have already tell the current components. Template refers to my HTML file, and query locator will find this the pass component name in my HTML file, and then I'm calling the function associated with my child component. So like we have to reach out first component, then we'll able to get the receiver, means able to get the function. And here my receiver method is expecting one parameter, so I'm passing that. If you go to my child components receive data, so here I am printing two paragraph. One is the you are in the child components, another one is like something message, and then the property that I have declared in my JS file. Now if you see in JS, I have made it annotated is API. So API is making it to available and make it public, and due to that we'll able to get it in the outside of this components or in the parent components. And like the function proper function when I was discussing, so I defined this function, this is we are calling from the parent, and that's why I made it API, decorated with API, so that it get available there easily. So this is all about the how you can pass data from parent to child. I'm going to make video for passing data from child to parent, how you can pass. So stay tuned. And also one more thing, like I just wanted to add some interview questions that generally in an interview used to ask. So if I talk about this session, today's session, so they used to ask like how many ways you can pass data from parent to child, from upwards to downwards components, and what means what so what naming convention we should follow to to call to to call your components from another components. What is no what is API annotation or decorator, what the purpose of that, and what you understand by export default, that all I have covered in my previous video, so you can take a reference from there. And what you understand by means function, how we define function in the in LWC, and how we can how we define attribute in JavaScript, and how we use it in our HTML file. And also if we are importing our child components in one another component, so how we can access their, how we can initialize their attribute, what attribute name we write in our uh, in that means when I was importing the components, then what in what form we used to write our property against that against that against that component tag. So we follow this small cases, all components names should be in a small, separated with hyphen, and that's all. So yeah, that's all for today. Thank you so much for being here. If you find it helpful, then please hit the like button and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.